Two unemployed actors, two unemployed actors. They're just between projects.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max, and I have with us today two special guests because actually Sam is stuck in his survival job, so he'll be joining us later, maybe. As long as he doesn't get fired. Jack Allen Keech and Jacob Wood.
That's me.
Welcome, guys.
Thanks for
you.
calling
I can
it.
tell how excited he is to be here.
Thanks for calling us special.
Special. Normally it's just Fred, so if you're a human, it's special.
Oh, there we go.
So, full disclosure, I've worked with you guys a couple of times now. Well, that feels like a lot. It feels like a lot more than a couple of times.
I think so, yeah.
I think because there's still one more project to come. Fire and Flood.
Flood and fire.
Flood and Fire.
Yeah. So
which was postponed because of a fire.
Yeah.
And then because of a plague.
And then because of a plague.
So you've got to change the title.
Yo, I was with the producer the other day, and we were going, maybe we just need to change it to sunny weather and rainbows or something, and that's how we'll get it made.
That'll never happen.
No, it won't. No. Yeah, that's something it's just constantly. It is like you're prodding it. Is it going to work? Is it going to not work? And
by the time
you just got to wait.
By the time we get there, it'll be the best planned shoot.
Oh, 100%.
Because you planned for it 3 times.
It won't go over time at all.
So you guys met at film school, am I right? Or
Yep.
yeah?
No.
No? Where did you meet?
No.
He says yes.
High school.
High school. Oh, way back.
Yeah, it was high school.
Way back.
Yeah.
He's obviously
Well,
blocked that
there you
out.
go.
It was
Yeah,
too
no.
traumatic. Fred.
Even he
Oi.
found it traumatic, so.
Fred.
It's good. It was high school.
High
Met
school.
at high school, obviously.
Okay. You're free to admit it now.
The contract's over, that's fine.
Thank you. Thanks, mate.
Were you both like interested in film then? Did you know like what you wanted to do?
Well, I mean, kind of. Well, I did at least.
Yeah.
But I knew I wanted to do something in film from like year 2. And I used
Really?
to make Lego stop motion
Seriously?
stuff as well. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Oh.
It's pretty depressing.
Well, people are making that for a living. I think they used 600 people in the last Lego movie
Yeah.
Yep.
across 3 different continents. So, like, for you to do it all on your own in grade 2, that's
Yep.
pretty epic.
With my mum's camcorder as well.
It's pretty.
Hey, Fred.
Frederick,
This
leave
isn't
him
happening
alone.
now.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you thought it'd be great if you could make a living out of it someday.
Someday, I guess, yeah.
And then when did you both sort of come together and think you could complement each other on making
It
films?
would have been like drama in year 10.
Yeah,
So like you were
Okay.
doing a different subject. And I lured you in the second year of
Yeah.
drama, and we
Yeah.
had there was a few like acting bits and pieces in
Okay.
class. But the final thing that we're both looking forward to, because I know you liked films and I liked film. We've done something the year before. I think was
Yep.
it. We won't talk about that one.
No, let's not.
in year 9.
No, even before that.
Before that.
we made
Before that,
something.
that's we built it up. I built it up, especially on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Ah.
Going, this is what's happening. I made
Uh-huh.
a poster for it and everything.
Wow.
Even had some friends do special effects for it.
That's pretty
The
cool.
opening. It never happened.
No,
Obviously. But yeah.
it was
You've
like
got to start somewhere with
we
a
did,
dream.
We did one day of filming. Finished
okay.
early.
It was
Got
hot as hell.
slushies from 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
You guys are experienced before you even got to film school.
There you
so-
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was at the end of drama in year 10. They had like a film
Okay.
project,
Right.
and I think that was the first thing. Is you wrote it.
Mm.
I didn't actually direct it, but we both starred in it. We were the main
Yeah.
people.
And that's concerning on my part.
You love being in front of the camera.
Yeah. Oh, Christ. It's not a good look for anyone, really.
Oh, we did shoddy American accents as well.
Oh, that's
yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't
They
good.
were really bad.
I've got some friends who still do that, but that's okay.
And I wrote the script in a little note document, not even Word.
Yeah.
It wasn't even formatted.
You can't afford Microsoft in those days.
No,
so
no, not in high school.
not in high school.
No.
Not now.
Not in the
really.
budget. Not now even. No.
Not now. No.
That's awesome. So when did you? So you both went to film school together?
Yeah.
The same.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
same-
I can say with.
You're
full-
confident about that.
Yes.
You're not
That's
blocking
pretty
anything out. Okay.
That you're proud.
Because
to say
you're
that.
making me doubt
Yeah.
myself now. I'm like, did you? Or I'm looking at you
Yeah.
like, well, he's
No.
going to say no.
We
What the fuck are you talking
We
about?
didn't even know each other.
Yeah.
You just pulled us off the street.
Yeah. I just found him standing out there. I picked him up.
Makes friends everywhere. Just leave him alone for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, and thanks, Fred. How many films do you have to make in film school? I imagine there's more than a few. Like, because they're teaching the craft as you sort of make it, or it's theory and then hands on, or is it a bit of everything?
It's a little. I'd say it's a little bit of everything. Like we did. Personally.
Yep.
We made one film each that
Okay.
we were the head honcho of.
Yep.
That we wrote, directed, produced, yada yada. But we worked on. We were in groups of was it eight people or
And
something.
you'll rotate job, sound. And
Yeah.
that stuff. Okay.
Well, it was meant to
Most-
rotate.
Most people rotated.
Most people.
I
okay.
rotated, really, on all
I
that stuff
was
because I
also-
wasn't really good to do anything else.
Yeah.
I just,
He just stood in the corner and rotated.
rotated. Just in circles. Yeah,
So
we're
that
meant
sounds-
to rotate.
Okay, so I guess some people found their strengths quite early and stuck to that.
He found his strength pretty
Well,
early.
I did a lot of sound work actually.
Okay.
Because I'd done
important.
in high school I'd done like theater production and
Right.
I did some sound there, so I thought,
Okay.
oh, it's kind of the same process.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was good at it, but then I sort of found it. I don't know. It wasn't what I wanted to do at all. But I think it's a really good thing because I learned one of the most important things on a film set. And I think that's something you need to do at film school. You can't just go into film school and go, I want to be a director. I want to be a director. I want to be.
Doesn't everyone go into film school saying they want to be a director? Anyway?
Exactly. Well, that's exactly. Everyone comes in and then they fall out. But like that's what like AFTRs and their like masters courses
Fred.
or AIF. In America, there's specialized courses like a film. Film
He talks with his
course.
hands. Relax.
Yeah, when you go to
Please,
film school, I think you
continue.
should just learn everything.
Okay.
And then because then you have a broader range, especially then if you
Right.
want to be a director or
Yeah.
say you want to go producing or somewhere, or maybe you just want to do one of those other roles. You want to be a
You can
cinematographer or
appreciate
something.
what's involved.
Exactly.
Because I've worked on a couple of, I've worked on several student films, but there was a couple where the sound didn't come through at all. Like someone was recording it too low, or like everyone's focused on the setup, and that takes forever, which is fine. It takes a long time because you've got the vision, but then that's the idea of getting experience, I suppose, marrying the technical skill with that vision you've got for the shot, and it can take a while for the student film. And they're just so focused on that. It's like sound speed, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, especially with like student films and like short films that we're sort of making at the moment, low budget but going out there, you don't have the money or time to do proper ADR or get any of that stuff. So you just got to nail it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do the tiny little bits, but like you don't, have the money to do a whole, whole scenes, whole film in ADR. So
Well, at least hard drives are cheaper than film, so these days you can afford to go, let's do one more for safety, or 10, depending on the talent.
Thank God for that.
But I like having that pressure of like being on set and having to get pretty much all of it there
Yeah.
in those 2 or 3 days, whatever, how long you shoot for,
Yeah.
Okay.
and just having that sort of be it, and you edit. And that's what you got.
Do you end up with, are you pretty skinny, like you end up with lots, with a little bit trimmed, or have you got like so much footage to trim down?
Well, I know from what we've done recently, we normally probably overshoot a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
that's good.
you're pretty like I've seen your scripts, like they're pretty tight. Like it's not like you've got,
No.
you're shooting 5 different endings or something, because you're still trying to work out.
We're not there yet.
No. I've definitely thought about it, having different endings and stuff,
Yeah.
and just shooting all of it and going, that's it.
Doesn't start, it just ends 5 ways.
Oh, might as well.
Welcome to my mind.
Yeah, just have a post-credit scene. I don't know.
That's good.
But, yeah.
That's solid.
You just release five different endings into 5 different festivals and see where they go. See which one makes it.
Creepy. It's creepy. Very arty.
Actually, lock that one away. That's good.
Yeah, I'm going to write that
You're
down.
welcome. I think what you guys are doing is really cool. Like you just sort of, you finish the film school and you just straight into the next shoot and the next shoot and just keep on planning to produce more content. Because it's something we talk about a lot on the show is you can't just sit down and wait for the phone to ring.
Yeah.
You've got to get out there and keep making opportunities. I know, me personally, out of the last 3, 2 were from direct contacts to production companies, just reaching out and stuff, and then being top of mind when something comes up, presenting to camera, or what was the other one, role play. It's glamorous stuff. I'm sure De Niro passed on the script before I got it. But it pays the bills, and it's a great experience. So that when you do get, because as an up and coming actor, you probably get a few shots a year to do something really good.
Yeah.
So you want to be work fit and ready. So knowing your way around the set's one thing.
Oh yeah. There's so many things to know and just etiquette and yada yada.
I'm just polite to everyone until
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
I
goal.
don't know who anyone.
Yeah.
When I was first on set as a teenager, it's like I'll just shut up and be nice, and
That's all I do.
that's it's hard for you to be nice
director.
though, isn't it? That's
Very
really
difficult.
that's a lot of effort.
Yeah, it is a lot of effort to be nice, actually. or I can stand in the corner and rotate the digital. So
Everyone's got a hobby.
live in the dark place of my mind.
Yes. Your scripts can be quite dark. So the last one, Taken,
Taking, yeah,
The Taking.
very grim.
Pardon me, I was there. I did read script. The Taking, yes.
Yes, you were there.
I
A bit too early, as I might add. You shut up a day early.
Well, I mentioned that on the show. Hey, Sam, I've got another embarrassing story. Guess what happened? You wouldn't believe. Yeah. It was just the weirdest conversation. Like, it's Monday. I'm like, yeah, no, it's Monday.
Yeah.
No, it's Tuesday. I said, no, it's not Tuesday. It's Monday. He's like, no. Anyway,
Fun times.
Abbott and Costello. It was a long way to go for a laugh, but
Yeah,
especially at my expense.
yeah, well, yeah.
Anyway,
It's funny though.
thanks for mentioning
It's
it.
funny. Yeah.
I remember saying at the time, well, it's a bit awkward, isn't it? Only for me though. Yeah.
He called me
fun.
directly afterwards, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, well, it threw me off as well. I was like,
So you came up with the whole thing basically
Yeah.
from
Well, the
idea
first
and
draft-
treatment to draft.
yeah, well, the first draft that I wrote was very grim.
Really?
Although no one saw it. I'm not going into detail about it either.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it ended up being 4 or 5 weeks of therapy.
Don't need therapy, mate. That's why
It's
I
just
write.
fuel for your
That's why I
imagination.
write. That's the whole point. But yeah, it was pretty grim. But the version that we ended up doing, not as grim. A bit more hopeful.
Yeah.
Still fairly grim.
Yeah.
I like the word grim.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
When's that coming out, by the way? Just as a
Well, with
Side
COVID
note.
and everything, it sort of threw everything out a little bit.
yeah.
And then I started writing my book,
Mm-hmm.
which has just been done, the first draft.
Grim.
Fairly grim. Yeah. Yeah.
The first draft of a novel. That's huge.
But yeah, the Taking, I'm hoping to be at least like very first, cutting everything pretty soon.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
it's
Looking
happening.
forward to it. I don't like looking at myself when I'm on set and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
people want to see the rushes and see the playback and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I'm like, no, I'll just sit in the corner and rotate.
Yeah, I like to be super efficient with things. Sometimes I don't like to see a playback. Like if I'm watching the screen already, I'm going, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, unless I think there's something
Yeah.
else, I just want to go for it.
Yeah.
Because we're working on like 1 or 2 day, maybe 3 or something day
Yeah.
shoots, and we've got so much, we're condensing so much in. I just want to go, let's keep
You
going,
haven't got
keep
time
going,
to
keep
sit
going.
back and look. Yeah.
I'll
I
watch them.
generally
I'll watch them at the end of the day.
Watching myself, like before I started like performing a lot, like watching yourself. It's always weird. It's like listening
Yeah.
to yourself. You know, you
Yeah.
sound different. But
It's
like,
weird watching you in particular.
yeah, I turn away. My mouth's like, my face a little generally. No, but like now you get used to it. You know, if you act or perform for a while, like you get used to watching yourself. And I always love watching the playback, just because I don't know, the world looks so much better through the lens of a camera. I think we can all like agree
Yep.
on that. Like
Yeah.
even before it's edited and filtered, it just looks better.
Yeah,
I think if there's something sort of technical that we're trying to achieve, and it involves 20 stages of blocking, then I'll probably look and see, you
Yeah.
know, is it actually working?
yeah.
But
Yep.
other than that, yeah, I tend to avoid it. But yeah, I guess you don't have a lot of time when you 2-day shoots. No,
Not generally. No.
No,
no
but
time, zero time.
I think that's the fun of it, and I
Yeah.
think doing shorter shoots, you learn so much more. You learn how to be much more efficient, what you can,
Yep.
what you can't do, what you kind of get to learn quickly as well. What's a good take and what's not a good take. You can't
Yeah.
you can't do
Yeah.
a Stanley Kubrick and do
No,
like a
90 takes of someone opening a
gazillion.
doorknob. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. You just
No.
gotta.
You can, but it'll be
Go
the whole
with
film.
Yeah.
The doorknob. Yeah.
I read Coen Brothers were on a podcast just recently actually, and said that like they're really trim. They don't have much left over, and it's like a few takes, and they've got the confidence
Yeah.
and experience just to move forward.
Yeah.
Which talks to that point exactly. You know, you don't need to do 90 takes of someone turning a handle. It's like, I know what I want to get.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. And I think sometimes now that it's all digital, like because with film it was expensive, obviously, so it's as fast as you can. But when they went to digital, the biggest thing they noticed was actors saying, "Can I just do one more? Can I do one more? Can I do one more?"
Yeah.
Just incessantly, because they know, like, it's
Yeah.
fine. Well, even before the scene's cut, while it's rolling. So anyway, that aside, so how does it sort of work? How have you guys fallen into? Have you got a production company, haven't you?
Not really at the moment.
Just
No.
unofficially.
unofficial.
Yeah, I say
no
unofficially.
name.
When we
No name.
tried before though.
We
tried to
tried.
get like a name up and everything.
Really?
It just
What
It-
happened?
it's- well,
Where's your
what-
creativity there?
name. That's the thing. Name
I mean,
picking,
come on.
Name
Tell
picking
me
is one of
about
the hardest
Grim.
things you can do.
Grim Productions.
Grim.
Yeah.
It's the M continues though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's grim.
Grim Triple M.
But like generally names is something I struggle with regardless of writing or coming up with the production thing. It just names do my head in.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
Character names and stuff as well.
Yeah, everything except Victor. Victor was easy.
Victor.
kind
Oh
of.
yeah, Victor. That's a good
That's fairly
sort of
easy.
scary, spooky sort of name for someone.
Yeah, pretty grim.
Pretty
name-
grim.
name, yeah.
So you guys are out of
Victor.
like film school now, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Did you just leave? Was that like recent
No,
or
we
when was
left
that?
2018. End of 2018.
Cool.
So-
And you guys just making independent. So we were just talking about, like, you've got a production company like with you two.
Unofficially, yeah.
Unofficially.
Unofficial, yeah. Look,
Does it have to be
The
official?
dudes.
yeah.
You should call
The
it
dudes.
unofficial.
The dudes. Unofficial.
Yeah. Unofficially
Unofficial
grim.
films.
Unofficially grim.
Yeah.
The
We should change
dudes.
that. Our name
Grim,
is-
uncut.
We should take that name first.
We
for our
could.
podcast, unofficially grim.
Yeah.
Quick, write it down. We got to get in.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I guess it's great that you're sort of falling to that. And where do you feel your strengths are? Obviously, grim writing.
Yeah.
for you,
Writing.
Jacob.
Well,
What about directing? Do you like?
I like
directed by
what I
you?
learned from film school was that very quickly was that directing. I didn't think I went there for directing. I
Yeah.
thought that's what I wanted to do. Didn't work out that way. By halfway through, I was like, this isn't working. At least
Right.
not for me. But I wanted to start writing. I was writing scripts, and I've written a few features by then. And then, like halfway through the year, I thought, I could write a book, but I hadn't really read any books. And I thought, I'll read a few books. And then it's very technical, this
The
process.
plan keeps
Yeah.
evolving.
Yeah, it keeps evolving. And I thought I'd write a book, so I wrote a book. And it just sort of snowballed, and I felt like writing was definitely my strongest point. But then it came back to directing with Come Together first, and I felt like that probably wasn't as good as a directing standpoint for
Right.
me. And then I wanted to do the taking, and eventually that sort of built my confidence up a bit. I don't know, we had conversations about it.
Mhm.
I wasn't confident at all. I didn't really feel like I had the capability.
Right.
But
Yes, grim.
Does it
Yeah.
does it help because you've written it, or not even? It's
yeah,
just
no,
a-
definitely, it definitely helps.
Okay.
Like I know, Jack, you've said that you like directing stuff that the other people have written.
Yeah.
For me, I don't think that's really. I mean, it's possible I could do it, but
Yeah.
I feel way more attached to it if I've written it.
So that you feel more uncomfortable as a director with other people's stuff.
Yeah, I just feel like I wouldn't know it as well.
Okay.
But unless I'm working with the writer directly, maybe
Right.
it's a different thing. But
Mm.
And you're, Jack, more directing and show running sort of.
Yeah, so directing more than anything, but because I do these short films and stuff, multiple hats, so I do a bit of producing
Yeah.
and bits and
When
pieces.
how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of touching on what you just said then, Woodsy. Yeah, definitely, like especially a director working with the writer, because I've worked with you so
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
Probably the most comfortable person I can work with. He'll write
Yeah.
something, and then I'm instantly there, like director, let's go. And it's the same. Okay, it's not the same because I just said that's a special thing.
it can still be
Similar.
special.
It's it's similar. I don't really like something that I've written and then
Okay.
to direct. I like if I take someone else's work, because I think the one thing I sort of look at, and I've only discovered this over
Yeah.
like the COVID breakdowns and all that lockdowns and whatever, is that I really enjoy like you have that sort of subconscious attraction to a script, and
Yeah.
then I like to sort of look through it and delve through it as I'm working through it to find out what interested me in the first place, because I feel along the way I'm also learning mentally, physically, not physically,
Emotionally.
mentally, emotionally,
Yeah.
personally about myself.
Block.
And I'm always
Okay.
looking for something. It's almost like making a film is therapy.
Yeah.
And I'm learning and growing more about myself.
Okay.
So taking on a script that I had a subconscious sort of attraction to and interest to, I will delve into, and then not hopefully, but like when it's released and everything,
Yeah.
I know why I wanted to make it, and then I've learned stuff for myself for the
Because
future.
you've delved into all the layers of it to try and work
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
how you were drawn to it in the first place.
exactly.
So,
Well, you gotta immerse yourself.
yeah.
Immerse yourself completely,
Okay.
and then discover about the world. Because one of the things I love doing is working with actors and working with them as characters and how they work and everything. And I like to almost do work to imagine that as a director, I'm a person in that world as well, and I like to not become that character as well as the actor, because that's their job, but I like to go halfway.
Right. So you're sensitive to what the character's needs might
Yeah.
be and
Yeah.
motivations and all that sort of stuff.
I feel it enhances sort of my ability to direct and work with
It's great as
people.
an actor to hear that.
Yeah.
You've got the character in mind at that moment in that scene. That's good.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much it's worth, but I did drama through year 8 to year 12. I did my HSC and everything, and I sort of stumbled upon there and knew that I wasn't very good at acting, but I learned.
But that
bits and
experience has
pieces
obviously
and the
helped you.
experiences.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Okay.
we always talk about how much more of a difference it makes when you have a have a director that like understands it from an actor's point of view as well. But also like vice versa. If you have actors who don't get where directors are coming from or don't understand what they're going through, then they're dicks. But like it can work both ways, you know. Like a director, you know, I've worked with both sides of the spectrum. A director who just has no idea and just goes, "Can you just like, okay, ready? You need to cry. Just go." Like you know, it's not just that easy. But then on the other side, it's like someone who understands, who's studied maybe acting or has tried and then understands it. And it's such a better like set environment as well for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I think doing that as well creates it's a connection as well, because there's always a special connection between director and actor.
Yeah.
But when you both
Truly.
have that sort of acting experience, it really just bonds even stronger, and it'll just make things flow so much easier.
Yeah,
because then it's more.
So having said that, what surprised you when you started to work on set with actors after film school? Like, is there something that sort of clicked into gear that you didn't think beforehand, or is that generally when you're auditioning, it's like just got to make sure that they're prepared and they fit the role? And
I think it's a bit of everything. I know auditioning for us has been a very
Challenging.
there's a few things that have been challenging,
right,
but the people that we found, like we found
Yeah.
you, we found a couple
Yeah.
of other people
Yeah.
that have been fantastic.
Okay.
On the ball immediately.
that's good. I
Being
know,
nice.
but I've got final edit, so it'll just be over. 20 minutes of that. Yeah. And that's what we're time for. No.
So you guys, how many films have you guys made now?
It was 4 last year.
Yep. 4.
5 short
Yeah,
films,
short
yeah. All features.
I know, imagine doing 4 features. That'd be so cool.
Oh, I'd be over the moon.
A lot of
Yeah, it'd be
yeah.
nice.
No, there were 4 last year.
Yeah, 4.
We snuck in one this year. Very lucky. We got it in like first few days of February,
Yeah.
and then like
Is that the one with Max?
that was just that was the taking.
Yeah.
The taking, that was awesome. I did enjoy that shoot, although I was exhausted after I finished. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
so drained.
Yeah.
I was.
I had
Yeah, I mean-
Scotch and Coke that night.
It didn't help that it was seriously hot.
It was.
That's
bloody
true.
hot.
And I was
Yeah.
wearing a blanket.
Blanket in bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was quite interesting.
That's fun.
I blocked that bit out.
A few hundred times.
Other than that, it was fun.
Yeah.
That's right. It was intense, but like emotionally, like it was just it was full on. But anyway,
So you say that you write mostly and then you direct. But you're both on set.
Mm-hmm.
And
Always.
then- so do you like kind of like co-direct when that happens? Like kind of both together, or how do
We've
you
never
guys-
actually co-directed.
No, not
before.
really. I mean, at least with the taking, we didn't. I was directing that, and I'd written it,
Mm.
and yeah, I mean, we always offer each other advice and stuff, and where to go, and if one of us looks particularly lost, which is again just how I look.
that's you've just summed it up.
Resting lost.
But like,
Yeah.
no, you guys do work well together. I think it's because you just know each other so well that it kind of
Yeah.
helps. Like, it just you don't really notice on set; it just sort of flows, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I think if because we haven't co-directed the next film we're looking at co-directing.
Yeah, we
but it's basically been like I'll either be first assistant director or something, or it's just having producer on set
Yep.
essentially. So just as Woodsy said, if you get stuck or something, just offering a little bit, or just in the other hand, just taking everything off their plate so they can only worry about the actors and the camera, because God knows everything can get a little bit crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, got a little crazy at the end of the taking, where it was hot, everyone was tired,
That was a full-on shoot.
and like the last few shots became really crazy, and I think you helped just take the pressure off a little bit.
yeah,
it got a little
that was a bit of a
bit easier. And
I remember as it got hotter and hotter that day, and of course my character's wearing long pants and a blanket, which doesn't help on a hot day. And then we were upstairs in that bedroom, which is a small space, all crew equipment.
Yep.
And then you just lie under the blankie, Max. So it was quite exciting. I remember hiding. I think I had 2 glasses of water I was hiding
Yep.
from the camera.
yeah.
Just to keep me going as fast as I could drink it. It was coming up, but yeah, that was pretty intense. But and there was a couple of moments there where it could have gone either way because we were just under the pump of time, and the fact that it was so uncomfortable in that space. But
very cramped.
It worked.
Hot.
Yeah, it was just good to get that in.
Yeah.
And I think the production design though helped at making it feel a bit more.
That was
Panicky.
amazing. Like walking in and seeing. I mean, you'll see it we'll link the film in when it arrives. But yeah, the set decoration was incredible.
Yeah.
Last part was amazing. It was just walking in there. It's like, oh yeah, this is where I live.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bit dark, grim,
Very grim. Yep.
very grim.
and that's all the work of our production designer. She was fantastic. So always pays. Don't do it yourself.
Oh,
No
God.
streaks.
Yeah.
Stick to them. What's working for you guys? So what's in the pipeline? You've got a few other things. Well, you've got a first draft of your novel,
Yep.
and there's a couple other projects brewing. Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
there is.
we were looking to get one shot. Like we've been trying to get this one done for the last few months, but everything's been so crap.
it's really hard to plan anything.
It really
Yeah,
is.
especially because it's when I wrote it, it's that jump above again.
Right.
Of like, there's a few more locations,
Okay.
that would require permits
Yep.
and
Into the
being-
real world of filmmaking.
being
Yeah.
legally allowed
Yes.
to be somewhere.
Going through councils for permission and all
yeah,
that sort of
which
exciting stuff.
now at the moment isn't looking very likely.
Yeah,
Um,
there were a lot of interior scenes as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just don't want crews coming in and
no, it
all
wasn't.
those bits
But
and
that's
pieces.
still there.
Yep.
The script's still there. I'd finished writing another script yesterday. That's outside mainly,
Wow.
which could work.
You just don't stop in your grim world, just
No.
pumping out stories.
Well, the idea, I finished the first draft of my book, and
Mhm.
I thought, well, I'm going to give that 2 or 3 weeks,
Yep.
let it simmer, and I'll sort of forget that I wrote it.
Yep.
And then I write short stories and scripts, and I was doing that for the past week and a bit. I think I've written 2 scripts in the past week, like 3 short stories,
Is that all?
Wow.
and another one tomorrow I'm writing. So
Like 2 short films.
I did a
Yeah.
podcast last week, and that's about all I've done.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
like because I tried just like writing and screenwriting like here and there,
Yep.
and I've like haven't finished one thing.
Yeah.
And it's like
that becomes the danger of it all, because the number one thing I give myself is, and Jack knows, as I've told him about 100 times and stuff, especially what I do, is that I just finish everything I start.
Right.
Even if I know the first few words, I'm like, this is absolutely
Yeah,
dribble,
right.
but it's got to
Yeah.
be finished.
Okay.
Mine always start out as like wanting to be short films
Mhm.
and then end up 15 pages in and still scene 1 or something. Like I'm like, this is gonna end up being a feature film that I'm not gonna finish.
Yeah.
Does it just turn into your character doing a monologue for the whole scene?
It's so true. I write down, I write down like everything in my head, but in like a
dangerous.
script form. So
Mhm.
it ends up
Yeah.
being too long,
Yeah.
pages wise, but like really creative.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably impossible to do as well.
Yeah.
With the
Sometimes
budget that
we
I'm
need
at.
lots of direction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think actors should just not do anything but act.
Yeah, but it's a weird one because I don't outline anything that I write. I don't like outlining.
Dole straight into it.
Yeah, it's called like by writing by the seat of your pants, because
Right.
you're sort of off the cuff, and
Mm.
Okay.
I always have a really general idea of like, I know the characters, I know the beginning, definitely have an idea for the middle, and I have a pretty vague idea of how I want it to wrap
So
up.
you could be towards the end of Act 1 and you still don't know how it's going to.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Wow.
That's the whole fun of it for me. If I knew everything before I started writing it, then what am I writing it for?
Right.
I already know the ending.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that applies especially when it comes to books. Like I just wrote a 500-page book, and I didn't know everything about that at all. Like
That's
part
cool.
1, I didn't know how that was going to end.
See, that's
Just
for
like
someone like me who's just so used to reading other people's words. It's like that's so intimidating. Just to start with a blank piece of paper and
Yep.
not have an idea where you're going to end up. I know it's exciting and that nervous excitement, but yeah, that scares
Yeah,
the shit out of me.
It
to be
doesn't
honest.
always work, but I can fix 15 pages of crap
Right.
rather than fix 1 page of nothing.
That's fascinating.
Mm.
That's a really cool approach. That's very brave. Well, it's working for you. So,
Yeah. So far,
so far.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
So, what advice would you have for actors who are coming into audition for you guys? I mean, we know when it comes to short films and that it's not the budget isn't huge.
No.
By the time you get down the end of the line for an actor,
Like if you compile if you compile the 5 films that we've made together at
Yep.
the moment, you might reach $700,
Yep.
maybe a bit less.
If that,
that's
yeah.
lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically.
well, that's the thing. The majority of our money goes towards
expense.
catering. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the main expense.
That's awesome.
It's either that or just hiring the little bits of equipment
Well, I
that we
think
don't have.
what motivated me was a gap in the show reel. It had been a while since I've been on set, and I've stale stuff on the show reel, and I just wanted to go out there and just stretch my legs in a few different ways. And I think there was that period where I went to like 5 different places, ended up doing 5 different short films. I think I was doing a character a week for a few weeks, which was pretty intense, but it was great. And then having worked and seeing how tight it was, like what we read on the script was what actually in rehearsal. First of all, there was a rehearsal, which is another good sign, and then is close to pretty much identical to what we ended up shooting on the day and finishing up with. So like that was pretty cool. And then I know I can relax knowing that I'm going to get some good stuff back.
Yeah.
And that was sort of my investment as much as it was for the experience on set as
Yeah.
well. Like walking in and being prepared, I've got notes all over the script. I've got ideas like how to play the character in a few different ways.
Yep.
The first take, I would give you what I think you'd want.
Yep.
And then I've practiced it a few different ways. So I'm able to be really flexible in my mind so that when you say, do the opposite, whatever it is, whether it's to get it closer to what you think the character should be, or just to see if the actor can take direction.
Yeah.
I'm able to sort of go there a bit and maybe, put a few more things in there. So I think that's kind of something that sort of worked for me. So, it's obviously we've worked together a couple of times, so I guess it has worked. So seeing, so I guess my point is, you've got to turn up prepared as an actor.
Yeah.
As, if you've got to be a part of this project, you've got to be 100% committed, and that starts before you even turn up to the audition, I think. You can't just sort of go, well, it's a short film or it's unpaid or whatever, because that's kind of the wrong mindset. Because at the end of the day, you're all after the same thing, which is some great content.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you guys auditioned actors through self-tapes yet?
We've had a few.
Sorry.
I did one at film school,
Oh, yeah.
which probably shouldn't have brought up now I think about it. Thank you.
Red.
Saved me.
Saved by
We'll cut that one out.
Yeah.
I know we've done it. We've had a few films. We've had a few self tapes come in. We haven't selected anyone of self tapes purely. This isn't really the reason, but like when someone comes in, you're able to form that
different,
instant
isn't it?
connection, see if you can work with them.
It's an immediate connection.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually prefer coming into auditions physically. I
Yeah.
think it's better, and you feel like you're more in front of an audience. Like it's
Exactly.
Absolutely.
more,
You know who you're working with,
Yeah.
and
actually, whether it's a just hold on one moment. Whether it's a self tape or like coming in person, do you guys? So the first person in that you see, whether it be the guy who gets the self tape in like that or whatever it is, do you kind of compare everyone to them subconsciously? Do you guys know if you have then a benchmark, like if someone's first in, first served kind of thing? Or
I haven't had that happen. I think in my mind, you'll probably agree. Before we've come in there, we've created like the actor and the character in our heads, and you gotta match them to that. Like you're matching them to someone who's like a mixture of De Niro and all these other little bits and pieces. I think the one thing we just look for is can they sort of embody sort of the image we've got in our head, because that's the one thing we're always looking for. But also the big thing that I think, and we've been very lucky with the people we've had that have come in to audition for us, have been awesome.
That's good.
And we always look, one of the other things is also, can you take direction? But can we be friends with you afterwards? That's
you're in a high pressure environment for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Can we get on? Because is someone going to derail or
exactly? You don't want someone just
empower
if
everyone?
someone
ballistic.
comes in though as well and they're like really good, or they're like, wow, that guy. You guys ever like, wow, that guy did it differently than what we expected or what we had in our head? Has that ever happened to you guys? Or are you guys quite stuck on like, what sort of character and actor you want? Could someone change your mind? I mean, pretty much.
Has an actor flipped you? Have you
Yeah.
been flipped?
I don't know if it's been as dramatic as been like fully flipped, and I've gone, oh my god.
Yeah.
From grim to amazing.
Yeah,
positive.
there's a few bits where we've gone, okay, maybe that could work, or
Right.
but I've never once. I don't think we've really been like bowled over by another performance
Yeah.
and gone, oh
I think
god, we'll roll.
I mean, by the time it comes to audition, you've been living with the
Yeah.
characters for so long too.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
like I
appreciate
know
integral
how they
art.
look in my head,
Yeah.
as opposed to like as an actual person.
Yeah.
It's more just a character thing. And
Yeah.
but as for an actor to come in, like I love when actors like you do it as well. When you come in with your own perspective on the character,
Yeah.
ideas, you write stuff on the script. You
Yeah.
go, well, what do you do this in this situation or that? Or,
Yeah.
And I love giving backstory to characters and everything as well. So
Because it goes both ways. It's like a job interview. You know, you're there to ask as much as an actor to ask as much that can help you. Because of the scenario, what other work have you done? What like it's not coming through the agent. So I mean, no vetting. So what other work have you done?
Yep.
And what you guys are like. And you know, I've got a page of the script. Can I have a look at a bit more or talk a bit more about backstory, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Because that gives me the confidence that when I turn up, it's gonna
Yeah. I
work right.
I like to look at it when we're doing auditions, break it down to thirds. Like 1/3 being them actually auditioning, 1/3 just being a conversation, just who are they, what do they do,
Yeah.
and then the other
Yeah.
third just about the script. Just really get to know them. As you said, you're going to be in a high pressure environment.
Yeah.
Get to know
It's
them.
a
see if
team
you can
business.
work with them. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the whole film industry.
Yeah.
Teamwork. Even though people say, oh, it's all this and that, or people go, oh, director, though they make the calls, it's complete
Takes
teamwork.
a lot of people.
You can't just have a director and that's it. The director has to work with everyone.
Yeah.
That's why here's a little lesson. Don't
Here
be
we
a
go.
dick if you're a director.
yeah,
True. That's a good lesson. I think the only way I can equate it, film, television, like the only way I can equate the experience is like a television commercial where we've got a day. I want to get the 90, the 60, the 30 seconds. There's lots of moving parts. There's background. There's, you know, and full crew, whatever. And we just got to, and then the client's in the other room watching the monitor and you can hear every bit of feedback.
Yeah.
As an actor as well, undiluted before it comes by that. You know, it's like that environment with so many moving parts and you've got like the lights going, you're not going to get it ever again. Like this is the budgets for the day. That's it. Let's move. Like that's kind of the only thing I can sort of equate it to. And having worked on like half a dozen more short films, I can turn up relaxed going, oh, we've got, you know, 15 minutes before we need to do the 60-second. And, you know, all those words have changed yet again. Okay, that's fine. I can roll with that, you know, because I've come out of all these other environments where it's been just as fast-paced and you've got to keep moving. And, yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's a great experience. No regrets. Except for those couple of films where the sound didn't turn out, but that's, you know...
neither here nor
It's
there.
probably
really.
it's probably a positive, really, in the scheme of things.
yeah.
Compared to what it could look like. What would you have done differently? Do you think if there's a couple of things you could have done differently on those early shoots? What would you go back and tell yourselves?
I for one, I know because I relive this every night.
Are you an overanalyzer?
Yeah, I go, oh, I should have done that so much better.
I-
In film school, we had a directing teacher, and she told us, this way of directing. But I think the way that it was sort of said was like, because we're kids who haven't had any directing experience or very little, we were then just, oh, cool, we'll just stick to that.
That's the only way to make a movie.
Yeah, and for me, like, it was about talking to actors and everything. And for me, who I'd had success doing things, speaking in my own way, talking to actors, now having this new information, I went, oh my god, I got to do this.
I've been doing it wrong for so long.
And I did that, and it didn't work. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
And so on the first few films I made last year, I decided to change a few things up, and I found I was more comfortable. I wasn't going, maybe I wasn't umming and ahhing a lot. I was able to. I think that's where I came from, being able to just go back to talking to an actor as if you are an actor yourself. You are the character yourself, and I still use what I was taught. But I don't use it as the only thing. It's like you've got a toolbook, you've got a book of everything, and you just pick and choose what you think is going to work, because every actor's different. You can't do the same thing for each actor. You got to change it up, and that's why I like
It's really interesting.
You were a pain in the ass.
Which one's more annoying than the other? No. I think one of my favorite things is just going out to like coffee or something with an actor beforehand, getting to know them personally. Hey, what works for you? Do you have do you have something that works better for you from a director? Do you need this? Do you need that? Get to know them a bit more personally.
That's great.
So then when you get to it, you can go, bing, bang, boom,
Yeah.
bum, 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 and everything's so more equalized.
Exactly.
That's how you make a film.
Yeah, just I'm doing like
The
little
soundtrack to
drum
Amazing Film. I know.
rotations here, Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, we'll have that on Boomerang. But
Oh, yeah.
That would be a thumbnail.
from my perspective, it's great because to have like with the interrogation, the whole fight scene scenario as well, like that time we spent blocking on rehearsal day was great. So to have the rehearsal, to have the coffee chat where we can talk about what about wardrobe and other things. He's gonna be so fat. What about wardrobe and that? So it helps.
I'm giving it to you, bro.
You're not fast enough.
I'm
It
trying
helps,
to be slow so I don't waste it.
Don't you know how to do it?
Oh, no.
So it helps. It helps because then by the time you get to set, everything's just runs so much smoother.
Yeah.
I can have the confidence in knowing exactly how it's going to fly.
Yeah.
Even because I had a broken shoulder during the interrogation.
Yeah.
Fight. Yeah, I had to make myself right-handed and everything. It's like it was crazy. But I'm like, no worries. I can let myself go and just go for it in the scene because I know we've blocked it out so carefully beforehand. So I think for both ways, the more you can sort of do quality time up front, the more smooth the production, particularly when you only got a day or two.
Oh, definitely.
Well, that was my biggest downfall. With the first two films that I directed, I didn't have any rehearsal.
Right.
And I learned very, very quickly that it was just a bad idea. Like, even when we did rehearsal for The Taking, I found way more confident going into that when I knew somewhat what was happening and what I was going to be able to
You
get.
know, there's probably only one other short film, apart from what I've done with you guys, where they've asked for rehearsal day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I won't.
Which is
make
why
a
I'm
film
talking
unless I
about it
have
so
a-
importantly.
Yeah.
I won't make a film unless I have a rehearsal.
Yeah,
date.
no, definitely do rehearsal.
God's sake.
totally.
you
Let alone
save
a coffee
so much
chat.
Time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Good lord.
Probably the worst, which was also one of the good ones, because it was at AFTRS and they were challenged to make a 60-second film based on a certain theme.
Yeah.
And the director it was special effects professional industry, so I knew that was going to work out well in the end in post. But wanted more experience at directing. He met me the morning of the shoot, and we had 6 hours only on set before it was wrapped for the next lot of people. And it was to make a 60-second film that was building up suspense too. Like it was pretty intense. But that was the way they'd sort of designed it for all the students to we know you can direct, we know you can do this, we know you can do that, but let's rank it up to like 11 and just see exactly how well you cope under that pressure.
Jeez.
And we can see what really works well for you, what doesn't.
Yeah.
Which was quite intense. But look, generally speaking though, on the norm, it's normally you audition. Maybe there's a few script changes that are emailed to you, and then we'll see you on location. And then I'll try and get there very, very early so I can sort of get myself organised a bit and
Wow.
Yeah.
and with experience sort of know some of the questions to ask
Yeah.
and have a phone conversation, and I'm going through all that. So in my mind, I'm going to have my own rehearsal time based on what I've asked and what I know. But yeah, so many. It's like you just turn up. Have you had rehearsal?
Yeah, I think pretty much. I'm trying to think back to one where I haven't had a rehearsal. I think pretty much every short film.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm paying it with the wrong
Has,
crowd.
has done a rehearsal, but even so, the biggest short film that I did, which was like a 5-day shoot in Wollongong and the Blue Mountains and stuff. So the director Mitch called me up before I met him, and we had a talk about costuming and everything and character stuff just over the phone, and then we had to go down a day earlier to Wollongong to just have a whole rehearsal, even in the space and stuff. So it was really like that is helpful, kind of, and to also know a little bit about, especially because these guys were, so there were two of them, Mitch and Sam, and their friend and their mates, and from film school as well, and classic, right? And so Mitch directs and Sam's the cinematographer. So having Sam there during the rehearsals as well, I was able to see where the camera would be as well. So it was really cool to just know all that before shooting. At the same time, we jumped straight into the highly emotional scene on the first day, and we kind of had like a quick run through there, but nothing can prepare you for like how, you know, once they say action, it's kind of like something comes over you.
It puts a lot of pressure on you to rehearse yourself. You'll be listening to Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And thank you very much for Jack Allen Keech and Jacob Wood for coming in and talking to us today.
Thanks very much.
See you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Two unemployed actors.